The quantum detection array on Europa station hummed in perfect harmony, its sensors reaching deep into the cosmic void. Commander Sarah Chen sat at her monitoring station, her dark eyes reflecting the holographic displays that surrounded her. 20 years of deep space monitoring had taught her to recognize every normal pattern, every expected fluctuation in the quantum field. Which was why, when the signal came, she knew immediately that something was different. At first, it was barely distinguishable from the background noise, a whisper in the cosmic static. But there was a pattern, a deliberate structure that made Sarah's heart race. She adjusted the quantum filters, enhancing the signal strength while her hands moved with practiced precision across the holographic interface. "Dr. Wong," she called out, her voice steady despite her growing excitement. "I need verification on Q-band anomaly in Sector 7. The station's chief physicist appeared behind her, his weathered face illuminated by the displays. He studied the readings for a long moment, his expression shifting from skepticism to astonishment. "This is impossible," he muttered, reaching past Sarah to adjust the settings. "The signal's operating on multiple quantum states simultaneously. No known technology can do that." The signal grew stronger as Europa Station's vast array of sensors focused on it. Streams of data began flooding their systems. Mathematical sequences, spatial coordinates, and something else. Something that made Sarah's blood run cold. "It's a distress call," she said softly, as the translation matrix began decoding the quantum-encoded message. But not like anything we've seen before. The holographic display flickered and resolved into a series of images that told a story of horror and desperation. They showed a civilization far more advanced than humanity's, vast Dyson spheres, ships that could fold space itself, worlds transformed into gardens of impossible beauty. But something was destroying it all, systematically and relentlessly. "They call themselves the Arcani," Dr. Wong said, reading the translated text. "Their civilization spans thousands of years beyond ours. But these entities they're facing..." He trailed off, studying the data with growing concern. The message continued, becoming more desperate with each decoded segment. The Arcani had reached out to dozens of other spacefaring races, some even more advanced than themselves. But none had come to help. Fear had paralyzed the galaxy's greatest civilizations, leaving the Arcani to face extinction alone. Sarah straightened in her chair, her decision made. Contact Earth Defense Command. Priority Alpha. First contact scenario with immediate intervention required. "Commander," Dr. Wong cautioned, "the coordinates they've provided. They're over 2,000 light-years away. Even with our most advanced chips, it would take..." "I know exactly how long it would take," Sarah interrupted, her fingers already composing the message. "And I know exactly what Earth Defense Command will say. But we're going to send this anyway. Because that's what we do. That's who we are." The quantum communications array powered up, sending Sarah's message racing toward Earth at speeds that defied conventional physics. As she waited for a response, she studied the Arcani's technical data about their enemy. The entities they faced seemed to defy natural law. Beings that existed partially outside normal spacetime, consuming not just matter and energy, but consciousness itself. 6 hours later, her quantum comm lit up with a response. She expected the usual bureaucratic delay, the committees and discussions that usually accompanied any major decision. Instead, she got 2 words that made her realize humanity had been preparing for something like this all along. Phoenix Protocol. Sarah's security clearance immediately elevated, giving her access to files she'd never known existed. Project Phoenix, she learned, had been humanity's secret answer to a question they'd been asking since they first looked up at the stars. What would we do if someone out there needed our help? The files revealed the existence of an experimental fleet, ships that combined humanity's unique approach to physics with recovered alien technology. Vessels that could traverse vast distances through means that even their creators didn't fully understand. But more importantly, they were crewed by people who embodied humanity's greatest strength, the unwavering determination to help others. no matter the cost. Within 24 hours, Sarah found herself aboard a quantum transport heading to Earth. As Europa Station shrank behind her, she reviewed the technical data the Arcani had sent. Other civilizations, for all their advanced technology, had retreated in the face of these cosmic horrors. But humanity had spent its entire existence facing down impossible odds. From the first time a human picked up a spear to defend their tribe, to the day they split the atom, to their first steps into space, humanity had always pushed forward, especially when the stakes were highest. The transport broke through Earth's atmosphere, descending toward a facility hidden deep in the Atacama Desert. As the landing pad came into view, Sarah saw something that made her breath catch. A fleet of ships unlike anything ever publicly revealed. Their hulls seemed to absorb light itself, their forms suggesting capabilities that shouldn't be possible with known physics. A tall man in a captain's uniform waited at the base of the transport's ramp. "Commander Chen," he said as she approached. "I'm Captain Marcus Rivera. Welcome to Project Phoenix." He gestured toward the nearest ship, its hull bearing the name Prometheus in subtle lettering. "I understand you're the one who received their call for help." Sarah nodded, still taking in the scale of what she was seeing. "They'd got technology far beyond ours, Captain. The things they're facing. By all logic, we shouldn't stand a chance." Rivera smiled, an expression that held both warmth and steel. "Logic, Commander Chen, has very little to do with why we're going. Humanity has never let impossible odds stop us from doing what's right." He turned to face the Prometheus, his voice carrying quiet conviction. "The Arcani are about to learn something that Earth has known for a very long time. Sometimes the strongest force in the universe isn't the one with the most advanced technology. It's the one with the strongest will to protect others." As Sarah followed Rivera toward the ship that would carry them across impossible distances to face unimaginable horrors, she understood why the project was named Phoenix. Humanity had always risen from its own ashes, stronger and more determined. Now they would help another civilization do the same, not because it was easy or logical, but because it was right. The stars waited above them, holding both terrors and wonders. But humanity was ready. They had always been ready. The Prometheus's command center hummed with activity as Dr. Maya Patil calibrated the quantum core's harmonic frequencies. Holographic displays surrounded her, showing streams of data that would have been incomprehensible to most humans. But Maya saw patterns in the chaos, a deeper understanding of how the universe worked at its most fundamental level. "The quantum fold drive is operating at 97% efficiency," she reported, her fingers dancing across the ethereal interface. "But there's something about these readings that doesn't make sense." She turned to Captain Rivera, who stood watching the preparations with calm focus. "The drive's not just bending space-time. It's resonating with it, like it's alive." Rivera nodded, unsurprised. "That's why we needed you, Dr. Patil. You're the only xenotechnologist who ever suggested that consciousness itself might be a fundamental force of the universe." He gestured to the quantum core, its crystalline structure pulsing with inner light. This technology wasn't just engineered, it was grown. Maya's eyes widened as understanding dawned. The recovered alien artifacts, they weren't just machines, were they? "No," Commander Chen answered, entering the command center. "They were seeds, left behind by someone who knew we'd need them someday." She handed Maya a quantum tablet containing new data from the Arcani transmission. "And now we know why." The three of them studied the latest decoded messages. The entities attacking the Arcani weren't just destroying their civilization. They were consuming the very essence of what made them unique. Each world they took became a void, empty not just of life, but of the potential for life itself. "The other advanced races," Maya said softly, "they're running because their technology can't fight something that exists partially outside normal spacetime. But we're not just bringing technology to this fight, are we?" Rivera's expression hardened with determination. "Humanity's greatest strength has never been our tools. It's our ability to face the impossible and find a way through." He turned to address the gathered crew. Every person on this ship was chosen not just for their skills, but for their heart. When others run, we stand. When others give up, we fight. The next 48 hours passed in a blur of preparation. The Prometheus would lead a fleet of 15 ships, each carrying crews that represented the best of humanity. Scientists, soldiers, engineers, all volunteers who understood they might never return home. Maya worked tirelessly with her team, integrating the quantum core's living crystalline structure with the ship's systems. The technology responded to human consciousness in ways that defied conventional physics, almost as if it had been waiting for minds that could embrace impossible challenges. Commander Chen coordinated with the other ships, establishing quantum-entangled communication networks that would allow the fleet to act as one even across vast distances. The technology was experimental, but like everything else about Project Phoenix, it pushed the boundaries of what should be possible. As the launch countdown began, Rivera gathered the crew for one final briefing. The command center's holographic displays showed their destination, a distant star system where the Arcani made their last stand against cosmic horror. 2,000 light-years, Rivera said, his voice carrying to every corner of the ship. That's the distance between us and a civilization that needs our help. Other races, with technology far beyond ours, chose to look away. They chose safety over doing what's right. He paused, looking at each crew member in turn. But that's not our way. Throughout human history, we've faced dangers that should have destroyed us. Ice ages, plagues, wars that could have ended everything. But each time, we survived not just because of our technology or our strength, but because we refused to give up, because we stood together. Maya felt a surge of pride as she looked around at her fellow crew members. Every face showed the same determination, the same unwavering resolve. They were about to attempt something that the galaxy's most advanced civilizations had deemed impossible, armed with technology they barely understood, facing an enemy that defied the laws of physics. And yet there was no fear in the command center. There was only purpose, and the quiet confidence that came from knowing they were doing what must be done. The quantum core's resonance reached a perfect harmony, its crystalline structure glowing with inner fire. Maya's instruments showed power levels that shouldn't have been possible, energy patterns that suggested the ship wasn't just pushing through space-time, it was becoming part of it. "All ships report ready, Captain," Chen announced, her voice steady and clear. Rivera took his place at the command station, his presence radiating calm authority. "Then let's show the universe what humanity does when someone cries out for help." He activated the fleet-wide comm. "All ships, prepare for quantum fold. We're about to make history." The Prometheus shimmered, its hull seeming to phase between dimensions as the quantum drive engaged. Maya watched in awe as space itself seemed to fold around them, creating pathways through reality that no human ship had ever traveled before. As the fleet embarked on its impossible journey, Maya understood what made humans different from the advanced races that had chosen to flee. It wasn't about technology or power. It was about the courage to face the unknown, the determination to help others even at great cost, and the unshakable belief that doing what's right matters more than doing what's safe. The stars stretched and twisted around them as the quantum fold drive tears a path through space-time. Somewhere ahead, a civilization waited on the brink of extinction, not knowing that help was coming, not knowing that humanity had spent generations preparing for exactly this moment, not just with technology, but with the iron will to stand against the darkness when no one else would. The quantum fold drive disengaged with a ripple of distorted space-time, returning the Prometheus and its fleet to normal space. The scene that greeted them struck silence into the command center. A massive Dyson structure hung broken in space, its once elegant rings shattered. Debris fields stretched across the system, remnants of what must have been magnificent vessels and orbital habitats. But it was the darkness between the stars that drew Maya's attention. Through the quantum sensors she had helped calibrate, she could see gaps, places where space itself seemed wrong, as if reality had been partially erased. Multiple contacts, Commander Chen reported, her voice tight. I'm detecting Arcani vessels hiding in the system's asteroid belt. They're heavily damaged. She paused, checking another reading. And something else. Moving patterns in the void. They're consuming the light itself. Captain Rivera stood at the command station, his expression grim but determined. Open a channel to the Arcani ships. All frequencies, full spectrum. He waited for Chen's nod before speaking. Arcani vessels, this is Captain Marcus Rivera of the Earth ship Prometheus. We received your distress call. We're here to help. For a long moment, there was only silence. Then a response came, not in words, but in images and emotions transmitted directly through the quantum link. Disbelief, hope, fear for these strange humans who had come so far to face something that had driven far more advanced civilizations to flee. Maya worked quickly with the ship's AI to translate the quantum-encoded communication into something more conventional. A holographic figure appeared in the command center, tall, ethereal, with features that seemed to shift like starlight on water. The Arcani representative. You came, the figure said, its voice carrying notes of both wonder and sorrow. When our call reached across the void, the Centauri fled. The Vox sealed their borders. The quantum collective itself chose to hide in other dimensions. Yet you came, you, whose civilization is so young. That's what humans do, Rivera replied simply. We help those who need it. Now tell us what we're facing and how we can fight it. The Arcani's form rippled with what might have been emotion. We called them the Void Hunters. They exist partially outside normal spacetime, feeding on consciousness itself. Our weapons pass through them. Our shields mean nothing. They have consumed 12 of our worlds already, leaving nothing but emptiness behind. Maya stepped forward, her mind racing with possibilities. Captain, the quantum core's readings. I'm detecting similar pattern disruptions between the Void Hunters and the crystalline technology we're using. They're not just consuming consciousness. They're manipulating the quantum field that connects all conscious beings. Can we fight them? Chen asked, watching as more of the dark shapes moved through the system, drawing closer. Not with conventional weapons, Maya answered. But the quantum core, it's not just a dry system. The way it resonates with consciousness, the way it interacts with space-time itself. She turned to the Arcani hologram. Your people understand consciousness as a fundamental force of the universe. That's why they're targeting you. You're the only ones who could theoretically develop a way to stop them. The Arcani's form brightened. Yes, we glimpsed the possibility, but we never had time to develop it before they came. And now our greatest minds are gone, consumed by the void. Rivera's expression hardened with resolve. Then we'll give you that time. Dr. Patel, can you modify the quantum cores across the fleet to create some kind of defensive field? Not exactly, Maya said, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls. But I think I can do something better. The cores don't just interact with space-time. They interact with consciousness itself. If we can link the entire fleet together, create a resonance pattern that amplifies human consciousness, we could what? Chen asked, leaning forward. We could make ourselves visible to them, Maya explained, her voice intense. Right now, they hunt by sensing consciousness. The more advanced the consciousness, the more they're drawn to it. The Arcani are highly evolved, their consciousness operating on quantum levels we can barely comprehend. But humans, she smiled grimly. Humans are different. Our consciousness is raw, intense, defined by our emotions and our will to survive. If we can amplify that through the quantum network, we become bait, Rivera finished, understanding dawning. We draw them to us instead of the Arcani. The Arcani hologram flickered with alarm. No, you don't understand what it's like to face them. To feel your very essence being torn away. We cannot ask this of you. You're not asking, Rivera replied. We're choosing. That's another thing about humans. We make our own choices, especially when everything seems impossible. He turned to his crew. This is volunteer only. What we're about to attempt. He didn't need to finish. Every person in the command center stood straighter, their faces showing the same determination. They had come 2,000 light years to help. They weren't about to back down now. Maya began the modifications, linking the quantum cores of all 15 ships into a single network. As she worked, she could feel it. The combined consciousness of hundreds of humans, their courage and determination, creating something new in the quantum field. Something the Void Hunters had never encountered before. "They're coming," Chen reported, watching the sensors. Multiple contacts, moving fast. The Arcani ships retreated further into the asteroid belt as the Prometheus and its fleet moved to intercept. Through the viewports, they could see them clearly now, tears in reality itself, moving with predatory grace toward the human ships. Rivera opened the fleet-wide channel one last time. "All ships, prepare for engagement. Remember who we are. Remember why we came. And let's show these things why humanity never backs down from a fight." The Void Hunters approached, drawn by the brilliant beacon of human consciousness, not yet knowing they were about to face something entirely new in the universe, not just advanced technology or evolved consciousness, but the raw, unshakable will of humanity itself. The Void Hunters struck with impossible speed, reality warping around their forms as they closed in on the human fleet. Through the quantum network linking all 15 ships, Maya felt humanity's collective consciousness surge in response, not with fear, but with fierce determination. "Multiple breaches detected," Chen reported, her voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around them. "They're trying to phase through our shields." The view screen showed dark tendrils of non-existence reaching toward the fleet, probing for weaknesses. But the quantum cores responded to human will, creating barriers of pure consciousness that the Void Hunters had never encountered before. Where advanced alien shields had failed, humanity's raw emotional energy held firm. "They're confused," Maya said, monitoring the quantum readings. "They've never encountered consciousness like ours before. The Arcani and other advanced races, their minds are like refined energy, pure and evolved. But humans," she smiled grimly, "we're chaos and fire and unstoppable will." Rivera nodded, coordinating the fleet's response. "All ships, execute Pattern Delta. Let's show them what that chaos can do." The human vessels moved in perfect synchronization, their formations unpredictable yet precisely calculated. Each ship's quantum core pulsed in harmony with the others, creating interference patterns in the fabric of space-time itself. The Void Hunters recoiled from the first counterattack, their form-shifting bodies encountering resistance they couldn't understand. Human consciousness, amplified through the quantum network, burned like fire in the void. But they recovered quickly, adapting their assault. "They're learning," Chen warned. 3 ships reporting partial breaches. The Essex is taking heavy damage to their consciousness barriers. On the tactical display, one of the fleet's vessels flickered as Void Hunters swarmed around it. Maya's hands flew across her controls, redirecting quantum energy. The Essex's crew. Their fear is creating weak points. They need. She paused, an idea forming. "Captain, we need to share memories. Not just connect our consciousness, but share what makes us human. Our strongest moments, our reasons for fighting." Rivera understood immediately. "All ships, open your mental barriers. Share your story, your purpose. Show them why humanity never backs down." His own memories flowed into the quantum network first. The day he decided to join the Space Force after watching his sister die in a colony accident. His promise to never let another innocent suffer if he could help it. Chen shared next. Her childhood on Europa Station, watching the stars and knowing humanity's destiny lay among them. Then came memories from every crew member across the fleet. Triumphs and failures, loves and losses, moments of courage and determination that defined what it meant to be human. The Void Hunters faltered, overwhelmed by the sheer intensity of human experience. They had evolved to feed on the refined consciousness of advanced beings, not this raw torrent of emotion and will. But they were ancient predators, and they adapted quickly. One of the Void Hunters phased partially into normal space, its true form becoming visible for the first time. It was absence given shape, a living negation of reality itself. Where it touched the Essex, reality began to unravel. Essex, abandon ship. Rivera ordered. Emergency quantum translocation. The crew vanished in bursts of quantum energy, safely transmitted to other vessels moments before their ship collapsed into nothingness. But the Void Hunter's partial manifestation had given Maya the insight she needed. Captain, they have to partially exist in our reality to consume consciousness. That makes them vulnerable, not to our weapons, but to our will itself. She redirected power to the quantum cores, creating a new kind of resonance. Every crew member, focus your consciousness. Not just your memories now, but your determination, your absolute refusal to let these things win. The human ability to face the impossible and say no, not today. The quantum network blazed with human will. Across the fleet, every person focused their minds with singular purpose. They thought of Earth, a family, of the promise humanity had made to itself to be better, to help others, to never back down from darkness. The Void Hunters tried to retreat, to phase back into their own reality, but the quantum field generated by human consciousness held them partially manifest. Where advanced alien weapons had failed, humanity's sheer stubborn refusal to give up began to tear the cosmic horrors apart. It's working, Chen exclaimed. Their structure is destabilizing. They can't maintain coherence against this level of focused human will. The Void Hunters thrashed in space, their form-shifting bodies caught between realities by something they had never imagined facing, a species whose consciousness was defined not by advancement or evolution, but by sheer determination. Through the quantum link, Maya felt the moment the tide turned. Human consciousness, amplified and unified through the quantum cores, had become something new in the universe, not refined or evolved, but purified by purpose and determination. The Void Hunters had evolved to feed on advanced consciousness, but they had no defense against the raw power of human will. All ships, Rivera commanded, his voice carrying the weight of humanity's resolve. Full power to the quantum cores. Pour everything you have into the network. Show these things what happens when they threaten those under humanity's protection. The quantum cores reached impossible levels of resonance as hundreds of human minds focused their will into a single purpose. Reality itself seemed to bend around the fleet as they proved that consciousness refined by evolution was no match for consciousness forged in the fires of determination. The Void Hunters began to break apart, their very substance torn asunder by the force of human will. They had come expecting to feed on consciousness. Instead, they found themselves being consumed by something they had never encountered in all their eons of existence, the unshakable determination of the human spirit. In the aftermath of the battle, the Prometheus's command center was quiet except for the soft hum of equipment and the occasional chime of status reports. The Void Hunters were gone, their impossible forms torn apart by the raw power of human consciousness. But their defeat had come at a cost. 3 ships lost, hundreds of crew members wounded in both body and mind from their contact with entities that defied reality itself. Maya stood at her station, watching the quantum readings return to normal. The crystalline cores still pulsed with residual energy, echoing with the collective will of humanity that had turned them into weapons against cosmic horror. She felt different, changed by the experience of being part of something larger than herself. The Arcani ships are emerging from the asteroid belt, Chen reported, her voice carrying a mix of exhaustion and pride. They're requesting permission to approach. Rivera, looking more worn than anyone had ever seen him, but standing straight as ever, nodded. Grant them permission. It's time we properly met the people we came to save. The Arcani vessels were works of art, even in their damaged state, their organic-looking hulls gleaming with an inner light that seemed to bend reality in gentle ways. As they approached the human fleet, they emitted patterns of quantum energy that the translation systems rendered into pure emotion, gratitude, amazement, and something deeper, respect. The holographic form of the Arcani representative appeared in the command center, but this time it was joined by others of its kind. Their forms shimmered with complex patterns that suggested ranks and roles beyond human comprehension. The first speaker stepped forward, its form brightening. "You have done what we thought impossible," it said, its translated voice carrying tones of wonder. "Our greatest minds, our most advanced technology, could not stop the Void Hunters. Yet you, with consciousness so young, so raw, found a way." "That's the thing about being young," Rivera replied with a tired smile. "We haven't learned what's supposed to be impossible yet, so we just keep trying until we find a way." Another Arcani moved forward, its form suggesting great age and wisdom. "We have watched many species rise among the stars. Always, we thought advancement meant moving beyond emotion, beyond the chaos of will and determination. We sought to refine consciousness into pure thought." The being's form flickered with what might have been regret. "We were wrong. Maya understood. Your advancement made you vulnerable to them. They evolved to feed on consciousness that had been refined, made predictable by evolution and logic. But humans are fire," the ancient Arcani finished. "Unpredictable, passionate, driven by something deeper than logic. Your quantum cores didn't just amplify your consciousness, they amplified your humanity itself. Your refusal to surrender, your determination to protect others even at great cost to yourselves." The being's form brightened. "These are not weaknesses to be evolved beyond. They are strengths we had forgotten." Commander Chen stepped forward, her expression serious. "The Void Hunters. Will they return?" The Arcani's form rippled with complex patterns. "Perhaps, but they will find a different galaxy waiting for them. Already, the quantum echoes of your victory spread across space-time. Other civilizations who fled, who hid themselves away, are emerging. They felt what you did, felt how your raw human consciousness turned back creatures that advanced technology could not touch. We didn't just give them hope," Maya realized. "We showed them a different way. A reminder that advancement doesn't have to mean losing what makes us strong in the first place." The ancient Arcani moved closer to the humans, its form pulsing with deep colors. "We offer you a gift, not technology. You have proven you can develop that on your own. Instead, we offer you knowledge, understanding of the quantum nature of consciousness itself, not so you can evolve beyond what you are, but so you can better understand the strength you already possess." Rivera looked at his crew, saw the same determination that had carried them across 2,000 light years still burning in their eyes, tempered now by experience but undiminished. "We accept with gratitude. And we offer something in return, an alliance. Humanity stands ready to help again, should you ever need us." The Arcani representatives brightened as one, their forms creating patterns of light that the quantum cores translated as joy and acceptance. "The galaxy will remember this day," the first speaker said. "Not just the defeat of ancient horrors, but the moment when humanity showed us all what true strength is. You came when no one else would. You stood against the impossible. You turned consciousness itself into a weapon not through advancement or evolution, but through sheer force of will." As the Arcani ships began transmitting their knowledge, Maya watched the quantum readings with growing amazement. They weren't just sending information. They were sharing understanding that would take humanity centuries to develop on its own. But they were doing it in a way that wouldn't change what made humans unique. Their gift wasn't meant to advance humanity beyond its nature, but to help humanity better understand and harness what it already was. The Prometheus's quantum core pulsed with new energy as the knowledge transfer began, its crystalline structure seeming to sing with possibilities. Humanity had come to this distant star system to save others, not knowing they would also find themselves. They had proven that the greatest force in the universe wasn't technology, or evolution, or even consciousness refined to its purest form. The greatest force was the will to stand against darkness, the determination to protect others, the raw, unshakable spirit that made humanity what it was. And now, as the Void Hunters' defeat sent ripples across the galaxy, other civilizations were remembering these truths. The age of hiding was over. The age of standing together was beginning. And humanity, young and passionate and unbowed, would help lead the way.